So this right here is day 2 of the review. So those of you who are in class, you would have seen this on Tuesday. Sophomores, I know you guys you're testing today, so you're gonna have to see this on your own. So the stars for this one are, you're gonna do 25, 26, and let me go ahead and just fix this up for you. This is the same as saying this right here. Okay, so it's just easier to work with. Okay, so so 25, 26. Let's see a second here. And then you're gonna do all of this page right here. So 3B, guys, this is like what we did the A, B, and C part. So what we did yesterday, that's what I want for this right here. And then you're gonna skip, you're gonna do numbers 5H. So all of these problems right here. And then we skip all the way to this page where you're gonna finish doing all of these. Okay, so and on this problem right here, I'm asking, tell me what sine, cosine, tangent, and all that stuff is for the information they give you, which is right here. Okay, so this is day 2, like I said, of the review. First problem I want to go over, and again, guys, like I said yesterday, these aren't necessarily hard problems. They're not hard problems. It's just some of them do require a little work. This is something that would require a little bit of work. Okay, and so first thing I'm going to do here is they wanted to know, where is this true? And so first thing I want to do is find critical points. So all I'm doing is setting every one of these right here equal to 0. And I'll get that x equals -3, +1, and -2. So I'm going to draw a number line down here. I'm going to put them in order also. So what I want to find out is, where is this true? So I'm going to choose like a random number, something over here, something in here in between, something here in between, and something bigger. Okay, and so I'm going to start doing all that work over here. So if I were to choose a number smaller than -3, let's say -4, and plug it in, I want to see if it's actually less than 0. So all I did is plug in a -4 for x, okay? So I can see what the numbers over here will do, okay? So all I'm concerned with is the sign. So if I subtract -4 and 2, well then I'm going to get a negative number, -2, right? -4 minus 1 is -5, -4 plus 3 is -1. Okay, again, I'm not concerned with the numbers, really just the sign. So you're going to see that as I move forward. If I square -2, -2 times -2, it turns positive. If I multiply these two negative numbers, it's a positive. And if I multiply these two positive numbers, well, that's a positive. So what I get is a positive number. That positive number is not going to be 0. It's not going to be less than 0. So this over here is not my answer. Okay, any number that's smaller than -3 is not my answer. So now I'm going to choose something between -3 and -2. So -2.5. So I'm taking the same equation right here and plugging in -2.5 for x. So here, -2.5 plus 2 is a negative number. Negative number. -2 plus 3, well, that stays positive. Okay? So if I square this negative number, it's going to give me a positive, right? If I multiply this negative number and this positive number, it's going to give me a negative number. And if I multiply here, that's a negative number. If it's a negative number smaller than 0, yeah, it is. So this is part of my answer. So now I'm going to choose a number over here between -2 and 1. So 0 is between -2 and 1. So again here, if I add the 0 and the 2, positive number. 0 minus 1 is a negative number. 0 plus 3 is a positive number. Oops. So here, this is positive. A positive number squared. Positive times negative is negative. Positive times negative is negative. So is a negative number smaller than 0? Yeah, it is. So that's what goes here. Or that makes the statement true. And for the last one, something over here, something bigger than 1 is 2. So I'm going to plug in a 2. Oops, not a 0, 2. So here this would be a positive number. Positive number. Positive number. So, I mean, this one's easy. They're all positive numbers. So when I multiply them, this whole thing stays positive. So this is not part of my answer. This positive number is not going to be smaller than 0. So my answer choice would be from -3 to -1. So that's where the statement's true. Excuse me, to positive 1. So that is my answer. Okay, so the other ones don't require as much work here. So the solutions for this one right here. So here, what I need to do is get rid of this base. So what I'm going to do is turn this into a log equation so that this cancels. So this would be log natural e, and then I pick up a -2 is equal to 2x plus 5. Now, they're going to try and trick you. So really what I see here, guys, you see, even though these two are going to cancel right now I have a log natural with a -2. So logs or log naturals cannot have negative inside. Okay, so because there's no x to solve for in here, I don't know if I'm just like, there's nothing for me to fix. So because this is -2 inside the log natural, well, this is an easy problem. It just means no solution. Okay, had it told me, had I done that and then it said, had this been a +2 instead of a -2, well then I would cancel the 2, solve for x like that. Okay, but because the negative is in here, this is no solution. Okay, so moving on here, because I have logs on both sides with the same base, I can pretty much get rid of them, so they cancel each other. And now I'm just going to solve for x. So square root. So don't forget, you have to do the positive and the negative version of that. And now, again, guys, I can't have negatives inside my log. So I'm going to see if I plug this number in for x, if it makes a difference. Okay, so here, I'm going to plug in first, since I have both answers, positive square root of 5 and negative square root of 5. So I'm going to plug in for x, positive square root of 5 squared. So here, the squares cancel, so I'm left with 5 minus 1 And 5 minus 1 is 4, which is okay, right? There's a positive number inside the log. Now I'm going to do it with the negative square root of 5. So I'm plugging in a negative square root of 5 for x. So this is what I want you to pay attention to. So if I plug in if I square a negative, well then it turns positive. So this is positive 5 minus 1, which is log base 4. Okay, so be careful. It doesn't mean your answer cannot be negative. It just means you can't have negative inside the log, which when I square it, becomes positive, so there's no problem. Okay, so both of these are the answer. Okay. All right, so last things here, guys. You're gonna need to know the sine, cosine, tangent stuff. So sine is O over H, A over H, sorry, other way around, O over A, and then these are just the opposites. Okay, so if I want to know secant, I want to know H over A. And so one more thing here, I'm going to write it off here to the side a little bit bigger. They gave you an X and a Y. This is always the A, and this one is always the O. Okay, alphabetical order, X before Y, A before O. So if I were to draw this, okay, first off, this is positive 3, so it's moving this way. Positive 3, and then it moves up because this is positive 4. Okay, and one more thing, guys. I mean, you start in the X direction, so you go out and then up from there. Okay, so this is my triangle, and this is my A, my O. The only thing I'm missing is my H. So if I want to find it, remember that A squared plus O squared equals H squared. Okay, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals H squared. So 9 plus 16 equals H squared. And when I square root this thing, I get that H is equal to 5. And you can just go ahead and start memorizing this, guys. This comes up in the ACT, and it's always just showing up. If you have 3 and 4 for the sides, the other side's always 5. 3, 4, 5 triangle. Okay, so they want to know secant, which is H over A. So secant, H over A. My H is 5. My A is 3. My answer is A. Okay, so this one's pretty similar. So this is sine on the outside, cosine on the inside. So I already know that cosine is A over H. Okay, and they told me that it's also equal to X, right? So they told me here. And I'm going to make this into a fraction. So if my answer is X, that means it's the same as saying X over 1. So if I make a triangle again, in the X direction I went positive X, and the H is equal to 1. So the only side I don't know is O. Okay. Now in the end, I want sine, right? This is what they're asking me in the end. So sine is equal to O over H. So I do need to know what this is before I can plug it in. Okay, so again, I'm going to solve for the missing side. A squared plus O squared equals H squared. And I know what A is, it's X. I don't know what O squared is. And I know H is equal to 1 squared. So if I solve, 1 squared is just 1, right? Solve for the O, minus X squared. Square root, square root. So this O is equal to 1 minus X squared. So when I plug this over here is 1 minus x squared over 1, which, guys, I mean, when I do this, it's just answer C. So when I divide by 1, it's just what it is on the top. So that's it for the day 2 review. Make sure you finish those problems, and if you have questions, come and ask me.